The Giro d'Italia today going back to its roots with a mighty mountain stage. Georg Steinhauser has fantastic family cycling roots. Both his dad and his uncle were professionals. He himself is making his own way. He was told he had to go to finish college before he'd become a pro cyclist. He's done his apprenticeship in one site. He's back here on the road doing it, and he's up against a former winner of the Giro d'Italia. It's young Steinhauser, 22 years of age from Germany, being chased by the old fox Nairo Quintana. Nairo man looking to be the man for the first time in a while. 7 years since he won a stage at the Giro. He's back. First time back in the peloton for over a year, following all the tramadol incident and all of that stuff. Here he is at Movistar, who've given him a second chance. And he's looking to repay Eusebio Unsue, his boss, who is in the car following on today. Behind in the Maglia Rosa group, there was an increase in pace a few moments ago from the very experienced Polish rider Rafał Majka. The tufts of hair up the helmet now for Tadej Pogacar. Timo Arensman and Geraint Thomas are on his wheel. Behind you can see Narvaez, who's dropped back. Martinez is there. Martinez's teammate, Giovanni Aleotti, has just got back on, so I just wonder if the rhythm is quite as fierce from Rafał Majka as it was a moment ago. And are we seeing maybe less will to go for things for Pogacar as these kilometres tick by, Sean?
It's looking more that way, but again, 14 kilometres. It's a long way to the finish. I know there's a little bit of downhill, but the final run to the finish here, like it's a wall again. And is he hungry enough to go out and do it? Looking like what Majka is doing at the moment, but Majka needs to continue on at a real strong pace for quite a number of kilometres, because this is a long way out for Pogacar to try and go it alone. And you know, that's what I've been talking. I don't think he wants to do these long efforts over many kilometres in the final. If it comes down to 2 or 3 kilometres in the final, okay, he would be prepared to do that. But yeah, 3 minutes is a long way to make up. But again, yeah, this man here, Quintana, that's what 2.5 minutes is to make on him, and Quintana looks to be in the rhythm here. And again, we're getting into more of his terrain, as we can see Steinhauser, he can see him out in front. He's slowly just clawing that advantage back, and that's what you've got to do in the final climb. Just keep this real strong pace when you've been out there all day. He's out the saddle again. This is another acceleration now. Narvaez has just been dropped. A couple of other riders have been shelled off the back, and Rafał Majka increases the pace. Fortunato strong to hang on, and here we go. 14 Ks to go. Majka sits in. Nobody's able to follow straight away. It's up to Timo Arensman to do the chasing. Dani Martinez responds. Can Geraint Thomas do the same? Yesterday, Thomas took time on Martinez and came back. Thomas looks down at his bike, and for now, he's unable to close the gap. There you can see that O'Connor is there. Thomas looks behind. He wants some help here, Sean. Yes, he's looking around to see who else is in the wheel here to take a turn. But Dani Martinez is just trying to get back here. But when he gets this advantage, Pogacar, so difficult to close it. But it looked like Martinez might be just able to do it. But the rest are struggling. And, who's going to do the chasing now? It is up to Geraint Thomas to have to do it, unless Arensman can come to his rescue here and start setting a pace on the front and limit the damage here. But yeah, still this 13 plus kilometres to go for our leaders, let's not forget. Yeah, this is going to be a real killer of a mountain for all the GC men. Tadej Pogacar is alone. A day he was born to attack, and he's done exactly that already. 30 seconds have just disappeared like that into the thin mountain air, and this is the bunch of riders who are chasing behind. Luckily for this group, there is a Valentin or an Aurélien Paré-Peintre shaped rider at the front. I think it's Valentin actually who's riding. Double check that. It is Valentin Paré-Peintre, stage winner the other day, helping out Ben O'Connor. Luke, what's your take on everything that's just happened?
I was just going to say that one thing I note is the man in the back shot here as we see Poggy. We've also got Dani Martinez in the middle. As Poggy went, very few actually tried to react. It was like, if you can't refollow, we don't want to do what Ben O'Connor did on stage 2. Go with him, blow up and lose even more. The only guy who's tried to go with him is Dani Martinez, and he's in no man's land. He's between a rock and a hard place here. We were about to see him then fall into the back of shot, but he hasn't quite made it. He's in the middle. It's obviously not a great place for likes of Ben O'Connor, G, that he's up the road, so we'll see how that materializes over the next couple of K.
Nairo Quintana, in the meantime, while all of that excitement was happening, is creating more. Sean, they're 4 Ks from the top, and he's made it to Steinhauser.
Yes, he's made it up here, and he's the front end of the race now, and he's going to be getting this information, what's happening behind, and it's going to be a matter of urgency, because when they know Pogacar is coming across, you have to just dig that bit deeper. You can't just play around with Steinhauser in his wheel. He just had to keep on working on it every meter. You have to keep on pushing, and surprised that Pogachar went in the attack this early, but again, that's his style. He's a racer, and I thought he would wait for a bit longer, but with the advantage to the guys out in front, it was a big one. So if he was going to have any chance to get the stage win, he'd have to go early. We see he has 2 minutes still to make up here, but it's going to be a drag race all the way to the line.
Oh, this was it. We were just wondering what had happened. There goes the order. All received, captain, understood. Up through the gears, surveys the damage, and then it's time for Pogacar, the blast off on his latest hunting ground. Martinez on the left-hand side. We saw him trying to follow. He was the only one who went into the red. I can tell he's now back in the chasing group. 1:53 then from Pogacar to the front of the race. The important gap in terms of the general classification is already 45 seconds to Geraint Thomas, Dani Martinez and the rest. He's up above the snow line here into the mountains. 3.5 Ks to the top from the front of the race. Pogacar comes into traffic. I'll tell you what, Luke Rowe, don't think he's going to get stuck in it.
That footage there really shows you. When you just see Poggy on his own riding up a climb, it's hard to get a real perspective. When you see him go past guys who are some of the best climbers out there, it gives you a true perspective of just how fast he's going. And when Nairo has dropped
Steinhauser's gone, yeah.
Altitude. I honestly believe it, and again I'm saying it again, but this is the difference maker. At this point they're approaching the highest point of the stage, and it's a man who's born and bred at it, and off you see him dancing off into the distance.
Nairo Quintana then knows that he really has to put in one of his top performances now. It's not Steinhauser who's riding against. It's probably this man who's wearing the colour that Nairo wore 10 years ago, Sean. Yes,
well, he knows that it is going to be a big fight here to hold on to his advantage. It's coming down 136 at the moment, 226 back to the Geraint Thomas group, and Nairo, he still has that 12 kilometers to go, but there is this downhill section, but the way this man is climbing again, he's just easing into the advantage, and he is the fresher man coming across, because he's been being pulled along in the peloton by his teammates all day, but he's also this super talent that he has got, and he can just finish up this mountain after a difficult day at such a fast rate. Will he be able to keep it going? That is the question as well, because when you get out of that group, you make that effort for a number of kilometers, and then you can start feeling it, and will he be able to continue pulling back the advantage to Quintana? Another 2 or 3 kilometers will tell a lot. Look at those time gaps. Just look at those time gaps. Thomas sitting here, riding on. He can do nothing about this. This is incredible, yet again, from Tadej Pogacar. Only Valentin Pagé-Peintre is there to help right now. In this group, you've got O'Connor, Thomas, Arensman, there's Martinez. Also there is Rubio. Tiberi's still there. Zana, Balde, Hirt, Caruso. That is that. Fortunato is a victim in the top 10. He's already been dropped. But it's over a minute now and growing. As I finish the sentence, it's gone to 1:10. Tadej Pogacar is on a mission. He's more than halfway across the gap, Luke, to Nairo Quintana.
than when he attacked 2 kilometres ago.
Yeah, the way he's opened up that gap, he's got 1:20 on the group, Geraint Thomas. That gap just opened instantaneously, and I think he is going to catch Nairo. We said that a while ago, but for a little while there it looked like a hard task, but the way this guy's going, he's going to get there.
Tadej Pogacar is in the big ring. Nairo Quintana spins away above the snow line. This is his territory, but it's moved on. It's the new generation that's here. Quintana, the Giro winner a decade ago, 2014. Sean, you and I watched it on snowy roads just over the hill from here on the Stelvio. He went away, stayed away and won the Giro. Now then, Georg Steinhauser has played his own part today in this glorious landscape high up in the mountains in Italy. The scene has been set. He's making a name for himself. He will not probably win the stage here today. Quintana's dropped him. But it'll be part of the story that Pogacar is writing. Because Tadej Pogacar, it feels like Groundhog Day, doesn't it, when we turn up? He's there. He's done it again. But every story gets more impressive than the next. And soon, if we're not careful, we'll be able to see him. He's on the same section of road now. He'd got to within 1:30 seconds. He's around that, just over it now. Tadej Pogacar still has work to do to win this stage, but he's on his way to pulling off something absolutely magnificent again.
Well, again, just his amazing rides, and we can see the way Pogachar is just spinning it up here on the big gear, as you say, but just flying along, and time is telling. The clock just tells the way it's slipping down here, and we can see they're starting to attack each other back there in that main group of favourites. But yeah, we can see 1:37 at the moment, 1:39. Quintana, has he enough to keep it going at the rate he needs to? But Pogacar, he's just burning up the road from behind.
Romain Bardet slipped yesterday to 7:52 down. He's on the attacker behind. All of the momentum has gone. They know now. They will know. Not easy to sit down and think when you're in the middle of this effort. But the Giro d'Italia is going away from them now, Luke. It's being finished right now, it seems.
Yeah, it does seem that way. And what's noticeable behind is, I think the group behind has almost accepted that, and they're fighting within themselves now. You see Bardet attack. Yeah, and you see Bardet attack, and you see Caruso start to chase on behalf of Tiberi. It sounds very critical, me sat here on my sofa, feet up, having never climbed anywhere near these guys, but it does seem like they've accepted that Poggi is the best in the race, and they're happy to let him go, and they'll fight it out behind. Which seems the case. This guy's still ahead, but interestingly, Steinhauser is not that far behind. He's 20 seconds, so it's not like he's completely blown. There you go, you can see him, he's just around the corner. You can see the neutral service car just as far as the eye can see. So he's not a million miles away here.
Keep your eye on him. It's certainly been an impressive feature in this race. We've been impressed with him, I think, throughout the stages. Today, he is turning into a very, very good bike rider.
Well, when you see the company was in that big breakaway and the names are up there, and he's still fighting behind Nairo Quintana, he's doing a great ride here. And we've seen him already in this race. He did some really strong performances. Definitely a name to remember for the future. I think we will see. Considering he's a big guy there, he's climbing with power there on this climb.
Wow. I am running out of superlatives for this man. How many times have we seen it, whether it's in Flanders, in the rain and on the cobbles, whether it's in Liège and going up on those famous climbs on the other side of Belgium. He's here in Italy, and he's now got Steinhauser in his sights. Those time gaps, well, they were a little less than what we were given a moment ago. No wonder they've disappeared from the picture. Pogacar is well on his way now to getting up towards the lead of this race, and Nairo Quintana. Steinhauser will be the first to be caught. Tadej Pogacar has him in his sights, and when Tadej Pogacar decides to attack, he very, very rarely gets it wrong.
when the footage was on Steinhauser and it was from just behind him, you could see Nairo in the distance. So now Poggy's got there. I'm going to, with the time gaps on the TV, we're not exactly sure. We're getting a little bit lost with them. So I'm going to say Poggy is going to be about 30 seconds behind Nairo now. So he's summited this climb, back down the other side for a short descent, and then they've got another around 5k climb. So Poggy is going to get there.
It's a tailwind as well here. It's no more than a couple of 100 metres. No more than a couple of 100 metres. Over they go. There's a customs passage here because although Livigno's in Italy, it has its sort of special own regime. Now, Steinhauser's been passed. And meanwhile, in this move, you can see that Valdez gone. He's stayed ahead, it seems. There we go. Less than 40 seconds now from Quintana to Pogacar. And, well, barring anything very strange happening, Sean Kelly, there's only one outcome here, isn't there?
Well, it looks very much the case here. As we can see, that advantage is coming down rapidly here. And still, you know, that 8.4, although there's a little bit of a downhill section, the run up to the line is going to be the difficult one. The way Pogacar is climbing here, I don't think that Quintana, you know, is going to hold on out here, because this, you know, 40 seconds advantage is just not going to be enough.
Steinhauser, hat off to you. Made a name for himself today as Quintana's descending for his life. His chance to come back to the big time. But Tadej Pogacar could well be about to ruin that dream.
Just as they went over the top of that climb, I did actually take a time check on myself, and that time that they're publishing there, 38 seconds, is spot on. I had it to the second the same. So never in doubt, Mr. Time Man, whoever you are out there. Great job.
And again, we're talking about the stage win here. The exploit that Pogacar's trying to pull off against Quintana, having dispensed of those behind. Those behind, by the way, they're calling it the Geraint Thomas group. He, of course, is second in the GC as it stands. They're almost 2 minutes behind Tadej Pogacar. We again have seen something quite extraordinary here today. And I know that there's some of you watching, because of the era we're in, and it seems to happen every week, you'll be thinking we're sounding like stock records right now, but that is how it is. Valdez is putting in quite the ride here. Lost time yesterday in the time trial, started the day in 8th place. He's trying to move towards the top 5 again. Over he comes. 4th group.
I think he's got about 25 seconds on Group Thomas. I think he's at about 2:15.
And they're being led by Damiano Caruso. Arensman here in this group. You can see that those dropped from the breakaway have joined Stora. Also there is Covilli. Rafał Majka moves up a little bit here for the descent. What a job he did to launch that move. And there is an air of resignation here, isn't there? It's 3 minutes back from the front of the race to this group now. It's almost 2.5 minutes behind Pogacar. Nairo Quintana about to finish this descent. And we know climbing's his thing. He's about to take on yet another nasty climb. He's pushing it on the descent here. Trying to take whatever he can to stay ahead of Pogacar.
And just on Nairo's ascent there, so he's 3 minutes ahead of the Group Thomas, which is all the GC favourites, barring Poggy. That's what he started the climb with. If we rewind the clock, that's where they were at. So he's climbed very impressive there. He's climbed the same speed as the group of GC favourites. Yeah, there's a reason he's out there alone with 4.5k to go. This is going to be touch and go.
Quintana, we know, in the past, has been one of the top operators in this sport. It's been a while since he's been at this level, for the reasons we explained earlier. Pogacar now is chasing him. Steinhauser in quite the ride still. Still following on in 3rd place. 1 minute and 4 back. Listen to this, it sounds desolate up here. One of the most remote places in Italy, this. So difficult to get to down the years. Quiet place high up where many athletes from many sports have their altitude camps. And Quintana is climbing to that altitude again. Up he goes. Starting at 2,000 meters here, climbing to the top. Got to get to almost 2,400. Nairo Quintana then, taking on the final climb. 4Ks to go. Let's have a look where Pogacar is. Is there one last big effort in him to catch Quintana? 40 seconds. Sean, you said it was touch and go. What's your thoughts just watching Pogacar here?
Well, if Pogacar can climb like he climbed the previous climb, well, then it's going to be really difficult, although 40 seconds with inside 4 kilometers to go. But this is a real wall in the end, and you know, the first bit of the climb, not too steep grading, but then it really kicks up to be, you know, severe gradients. And has Quintana got the power to go up there? He's the lightweight rider as well, of course, so it's all about what he has left energy in the tank.
3.5 kilometers from the finish. Today we've seen Pogacar dancing away on the slopes of the Italian Alps. A real rite of passage for all of the greats down the years in this sport. He's done it all dressed in pink. He's 35 seconds now behind the last remaining survivor of the breakaway, Nairo Quintana. Quintana moving up in the King of the Mountain standings as well, but of course so is Tadej Pogacar, second over that last climb. He already holds the blue jersey, and Quintana, just a few hundred meters into this climb, is already shipping seconds. It's 32, goes to 31, and Pogacar on his way to penning another of those very entertaining chapters in what's becoming a really long book. 30 seconds now, and by the way, we're getting towards another 3 minutes in the general classification. He started off with 3:41, already the longest Giro lead after 14 days since 1990. And they said that this was an easier Giro route. My, oh my, there could be some more damage to be done yet. Today's the day I think he always wanted to win. He talked of a simple plan at the start of the day. He was always waiting for today to happen. And now he's about to make an impression. 3Ks to go for Quintana, 25 seconds, but it's going the wrong way for him.
Yes, it looks like it's going the wrong way, and the road is going to be, you know, the wrong type as well. The real steep gradients is all about, you know, the power you have left at a very difficult day, and Pogachar, he has a lot of that left. We can see the way he's sitting there. He's just, you know, pounding that gear around, and in the meantime, the advantage coming down all the time as we go inside the 3Ks to go. 21 seconds, unfortunately for Nairo Quintana, and the minute of the breakaway, it looks like this man is going to break their hearts again.
Well, whatever you're doing, another day, another moment to remember. This is the day that Tadej Pogacar, barring any sort of very strange incident in the final week, is on his way to casting the final verdict on the Giro d'Italia with a week remaining. He's on his way to having 6 or 7 minutes of a gap right now. And behind, they're going for what they can. This is Enea Rubio, and he's going to be chased by Thymen Arensman. Arensman, who lies in 6th place in the general classification. Rubio for Movistar, trying to move back up after he dropped out the top 10 in the time trial yesterday. And this is Covilli. He, of course, was in the day's breakaway. 16 seconds now. And Tadej Pogacar is now 3 minutes in front of the main GC group on the road. Luke, this is quite something, isn't it?
It really is. You know, as soon as he got Nairo in the sights there, that's a huge psychological boost. You know the gap is coming down. You're hearing that in your ear, but to actually see him with your own eyes, it's like a real character chase. You can see him, that perfect view there. He's just going to reel him in now. And like you said, they had a simple plan, and it was just executed very well by a strong team, and they had the best individual in the race. You know, we thought that at the start. It was clear to see until this point, and now he's just really stamped his authority on the whole race. Very impressive today.
10 years ago, the man in blue was all dressed in pink. He won this race on the other side of this mountain. Now with 2 kilometers to go in 2024, it's another passing of the baton from the old generation to a man who is a generational talent. Pogacar reaches Quintana, no time to talk. And listen to this. This is the soundtrack to his glory days. The Slovenian flag flies. The Italian tifosi scream his name. And Tadej Pogacar, all dressed in pink, rides away to yet another day of glory. Absolutely sensational. Inside the final 1.5 kilometers, and he's now about to go onto a road until just a couple of days ago didn't exist. Tarmac specially for the occasion. Up a ski slope. Nothing this for the man who was born not far from some of the biggest ski slopes in Europe. Tadej Pogacar again. Gradient goes up here to nigh on 20%. But after what he's done, what he's achieved, what he's been capable of doing, this is nothing for him. He sent the crowd bananas again. And well, on his way to finishing yet another exploit. This is the sort of thing that the Italian fans love, isn't it?
Well, they definitely love this sort of racing, and they love this style of riding. And you know, Pogachar, you know, again, he just these monster performances. This is another one. After the time trial yesterday, let's not forget he had to put in that huge effort. A lot of the guys in the breakaway had an easier day, so you know all of that counts as well at this point in the race. But it doesn't seem to affect him at all. He just recovers amazingly, and you can see the way he rode past Quintana there. Quintana did not even try to get in the wheel. He was just going at such a fast rate, and the gradient where he passed him, all of that, and we can see here he's just powering away. And you can see the advantage he's pulling out of, you know, the guys he have left back there in the GC hunt. 3 minutes, and they are, you know, giving it their all here, and this man is just, you know, pedaling away as if he's out on a Sunday spin.
Quintana, they're getting a push. By the way, the surface here is sort of more compact gravel for a few hundred meters before, when it gets steep again, it goes to that new tarmac road. This is Steinhauser turning on to the ski slope at Mottolino, that's dressed in pink, ready for its first ever finish of the Giro d'Italia, and this is a finish that's going to go down in history. Look at that man. Slovenian flags fly left and right for a man who flies the flag for his nation in international sport. There is nobody who can do anything like what Pogacar can do at the minute. Here's Zana, the latest victim behind, looking to try and find Tiberi. He's been in a little bit of trouble. Thomas being pulled up the hill now. O'Connor starting to slip and slide at the end of this group. Jan Hirt riding a good race as well. Martinez with Thomas and Arendsman here. They're still travelling at 3 minutes from Tadej Pogacar. 1 kilometre to go. It'll be one of the slowest kilometres he'll ride. Not because he ain't trying. Gradient's up to almost 20% here. And before we see him across the line, Luke, a word from you on what we are watching.
It's an incredible performance that we're just getting all too used to have the privilege to see. You know, time and time again, we see this new generation of superstars, whether it be Poggi, whether it be Van der Poel in Paris-Roubaix or Van Aert. You know, this new generation of absolute weapons. And time again, they do these amazing things. Going like he is here, sticking 3 minutes into the GC groups. And sometimes you just have to stop, tip your hat and say chapeau, because it's a pretty special performance. He's grabbed the bull by the horns. He's going to put himself in a commanded GC lead here. I just hope he doesn't take his foot too much off the gas for the next week, because this makes pretty special viewing.
Ben O'Connor in a little bit of bother here. The podium's looking that little bit further for him, as both Thomas and Martinez stretch their small gaps. Jan here is having a pretty good day, though. He's moving up in the general classification. 700 metres to the line for Pogacar. Sean, you've seen so much down the years. So many special exploits. So much from just this man in the last few years. But today, surely, it's one of those days, isn't it?
Well, when you look at the situation, you know, further down the mountain, when the breakaway was a long ways out in front, and you would think that he'd wait for quite a bit longer, not to go for a long way out, but he did take it up, and the way he just rode away from the other contenders in the GC classification, and the way he just pulled back the advantage to the guys that were still out in front after being in the breakaway all day. Another amazing performance. And on the easier part, he was just, you know, pedaling away there, looking like he wasn't under any pressure at all. Now, you know, it's a real steep section here. It's, you know, 19% in places, 20%. It's normal that it looks a bit more difficult for him, but we can see just a monster ride again today.
The sound of victory turned up to 10. They scream and cheer. One of the most beautiful natural backdrops you could ask for. There's the top rider in the world's most beautiful cycling jersey. He's going to finish the job with a week to spare. And that's no exaggeration. Barring any incident or accident, next week, Tadej Pogacar will win the Giro d'Italia. He's blown them away again here. Already the biggest lead at this point in the race before today. He's on his way to doubling it. 13 kilometres from the line, he was still in with those he's fighting against. An extreme acceleration out of that group. Catching riders one by one. Beating the former winner. And here he is to claim his prize. Tadej Pogacar. Dressed in pink. Turning up for the occasion. And crowning another day in cycling's golden age. It's a party at the top of the mountain. They know they've seen something special. A beastly stage for a beastly rider. Tadej Pogacar looks back, sees more empty road, and he's riding away with the Giro d'Italia. An image for the ages. A rider for the history books. A fourth stage win at this Giro for Tadej Pogacar, and without doubt, the most beautiful.
Has ripped the Giro d'Italia apart.
And on another hand, you have to say, welcome back, Nairo Quintana. He gave it a go, a real hit out. Cannot compete with this new generation like that. But Nairo Quintana, Nairo man, has his fans cheering for him again. So Pogacar across the line. Another podium, more plaudits. This time, Sean, with what he's done here, it feels different.
Yes, I'm stuck for words here. You know, that performance again today from this man here. He just goes on and, yeah, phenomenal performance as he, you know, does so many times. But, you know, this one, this stage, when you consider all that, it's just one of the big performances of Tadej Pogacar's career here. The way he just blitzed away from everybody. Yeah, he's just getting stronger, and yeah, he's just killed the race off really now, because the advantage he's took out of the rest of the men here, still fighting out on the road. We were, you know, a little bit of hope he might have a little bit of a difficult day, the first big mountain stage after the time trial. They might be able to put him under a bit of pressure, but not at all. We can see those riders, Geraint Thomas, Danny Martinez, they're all fighting to limit the losses here, and the losses are going to be huge.
Already at 2 minutes. The start of the day, Quintana was hoping to get in the breakaway. He did that. He finished second to the man who led by 3:41. He's going to end up leading by a lot more. There's Balde, stands to take some time back. Rubio as well. This is O'Connor, who's had a bit of a recovery. And Tiemann Ardensman, after doing that work for Geraint Thomas, starts to fade a little bit. Thomas and Martinez again right away from O'Connor. And look at this effort from Thomas. He's doing best to limit what he can. He's doing best to keep his second bot on the podium, but with 500 metres to the line, he made that move. 150 to go now, and Martinez is trying to steal back what he can. Remember, it's tight between Thomas and Martinez for that second spot. Here is Balde, battling as always. Thomas has held on, though. It looked like he was about to crack there. It's a real gutsy ride from Geraint. Balde across the line at 2:49. It's 2:51. 2:51. Put the bonus seconds on there. And another 3 minutes for Tadej Pogacar, who has almost doubled his lead. Where were you? What were you doing on the day that Tadej Pogacar turned up 2,000 meters above sea level in the high mountains to double his lead at the Giro? Time for us to take a quick breath, get down to Berton, who's on the mountain.
Pretty chaotic situation, as you can imagine, right after the finish line when Tadej Pogacar just passed beside us. And here with me I have Marcin Fernandez from Team UAE. Of course, another amazing day. You probably knew that Tadej wanted this stage, as he wanted to really make his mark on the Queen stage of the Giro d'Italia.
This is actually one stage of a lot of prestigious. For this is the important victory. It's a really important finish. For this is the don't take the success for the winner the stage, depending of the situation of the breakaway. After the teammates is made the perfection, everyone is perfect team and coordinating every moment in the important piece of the stage, and it's well done, really well done, and the perfect of the team, and amazing. Today is historic.
Did you expect Tadej to attack 15Ks ago? We thought it was early, but of course we know him so strong.
The idea of the plan is after Foscaño is the tailwind. For this is simple. This is the perfect moment, depending of the situation of the race. The situation of the race is with the riders in front. For this is the continue the plan, and Tadej continue to the.
Just arriving now, and congratulating with Marcin Fernandez. Great day. Move to tears a little bit, maybe.
Amazing, really amazing. He's a good guy. He's really good person. He's the amazing teammate and historic moment.
Congratulations, congratulations. More reaction to come. Stay with us.
Wow. It's hard to get more impressed and more excited with what this guy does down the years. But every time he somehow manages to build on what he's done previously.
It's risky.
He deserves a brew after that.
Did you hear what he said then?
Go on.
Is that whiskey?
Well, there were no nerves. He doesn't need to calm them, does he?
Good man.
Incredible. Absolutely incredible. Just like is this scenery. Perfect stadium. Perfect rider to finish things off. A lot of time lost here for Fortunato. I can tell you that Domenico Pozzovivo's not had a great day behind either. He's going to finish around 6 minutes, 6.5 minutes down. Let's get reaction now from Nairo Quintana. He's with Alberto Contador, two former Giro winners.
Bueno, estamos
with
con Nairo Quintana.
Nairo Quintana.
Qué cerquita ha estado, ¿no?
Ah, you were so close, eh?
Bueno.
Well.
De todas maneras, ha tenido un buen sabor.
I had a good taste today.
Vamos en buena dirección y
we're going in the right direction.
Y bueno, es lo que cuenta ahora.
That's what counts
Hemos
really
visto
now.
Que vas evolucionando, has llegado
you're
después
going,
de la lesión.
You're getting
la
better.
Semana, pues, se te ve que te costaba más.
Third week.
Ahora cada día te vas encontrando.
And now you seem to be feeling better.
Te da mucha moral para lo que queda.
That'll get you a lot of confidence, no?
Sí, claro que me da
of course.
motivación.
It gives me a lot of motivation.
Para lo que queda de Giro y de temporada.
what's left in the Giro and the season as well.
Hemos tenido la primera semana una victoria también con.
We had a nice victory with Pelayo in the first week. Of course, he's been looking after me after that, and they've been looking after me today. And it's, we're motivated for more. The last one, you didn't get the victory. But how is it important for Nairo Quintana to be there as a protagonist, a real actor in today? Well,
ha sido muy importante,
it's been really important.
Para la motivación personal,
for the motivation, for personal motivation,
y para el equipo, lógicamente.
And well for the team, logically.
Estamos motivados.
We're really motivated.
Teniendo muy buena armonía en
grupo, we've got a nice harmony in the group.
Esperamos tener buenos resultados.
And we'll hope that we can get some nice results.
A ti, muchas gracias.
Well, a thank you either way, in both ways there, Nairo Quintana. Still got his fans up there. Hard to really understand how crazy those supporters are for their national heroes. There's another of them in Dani Martinez. A good battle behind as well, with Geraint Thomas there for every second. They were neck and neck, both coming across the line together. No change in their positions on the podium today. Well, Martinez and Thomas. Arensman did his bit. I'm sure we were watching those two. Martinez and Thomas. It looked as though Thomas might be about to crack, but he really dug deep. Martinez had his bad moments after going into the red as well. That was quite the battle behind too.
Yes, well, it was a battle for the places on the podium, and what a battle it was. We could see there Martinez, made the effort to try and get across to this man who won the stage, and then Geraint Thomas in the end looked to have got into the rhythm, was feeling a bit better, but both of them marking each other. But Tiberi losing a minute on Geraint Thomas and Dani Martinez, so a bit of a shuffle in the GC.